Hey there, and welcome to week 6 of your assignment feedback. All right, we're gonna start with Moiyawa. See, we got some sketches here for us, which is cool. It's nice to see that some of you are working it out on traditional media and just doing it the old-fashioned way, with a pencil and a sketchbook, which is cool. All right, I'm gonna pick my pencil here, and one of the things you could definitely do is make some lines thicker. Watch for um, weight, line weight, especially something that is up front and closer. It's going to have thicker lines like that. Just helps the concept of the sketch read out a little better if you just thicken the lines. Like so. Popcorn. So what's the idea? What would I mean? It's supposed to be inspired by popcorn, but it's a popcorn. Popcorn? Not, don't quite get it. Maybe you can help me out. Pop accord. Pop, pop a corn. Pop a corn. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, when you're doing sketches of items or whatever, just think about how they actually are as real items in 3D space, right? Because right now they look very flat. Um, Try to imagine they actually have a volume thickness to it, right? Maybe doing something like this will help you to train your mind to build volume. You know, there's a really good exercise I would recommend of drawing some basic shapes from real life. You set up a light source and you just draw it. So you've got a sphere, a cone, and a cylinder, right? You can have maybe a rectangle here, like that. And I've done these exercises. They're really nice to build the understanding of volume in your mind. So, for example, let's say the light is coming from there, right, like that. Yeah, it's coming from here. So we'll have, you know, you'll start examining how it's going to look like. So you'll have shadow over here, like that. And then you have shadow over here. And you'll start to really understand form better. It's going to get more solid in your mind. Something like this, and here. And then sphere. right? And you'll have the shadows underneath, of course. The items are going to cast shadows. So this kind of exercise is really, really beneficial. For real life is the best because you'll notice all these subtle changes in the shadow areas and how the light reflects and hits different parts of the shapes. But you can also download and do it from a 3D. You can literally set up a scene in Blender under Eevee or Cycles. Cycles is more realistic, but if your computer is not too fast, then Eevee is fine too. And then you set up some shapes and draw those shapes. So that way your stuff doesn't look so flat, right? You have to always think in a way of forms. Like these are forms. These are not just flat shapes, right? On a paper. These are supposed to be 3D objects in a 2D space. So you have to make it look like it. Yeah. And then you can definitely like push the colors here a little more and the values. Just to indicate form a little better, right? To make it feel more 3D. Yeah, that's good. You can also add a little bit more vibrance in the colors. Do that with overlay. So, so it doesn't, excuse me, so it doesn't feel so flat. And you can go around and just add colors that belong to the worm, right? The red, all this area. You can walk around. You can add some cold colors, cool colors too. They're gonna be like on the opposite side. They're gonna be more like over here. Maybe it's rim light, backlit light, coming from somewhere else. That adds a little more richness and interest to your concept. See, now it's like, or it looks much more interesting. It doesn't look so so dull and boring. Stuff like that. So you have to understand which colors work with which, right? So you have adjacent colors. They work with each other. Adjacent colors are the colors on the color wheel that are adjacent, which means they're next to each other. And then you have contrasting color, which are they are usually against each other on the color wheel. Contrasting colors. For example, like the red over here, and well, actually, this color wheel is not 100% accurate. It's just how it's in the software, but usually the red would be in front of the green, so it should be over here. So, but let me bring a color wheel and we can talk about it a little bit because it's a good topic. You should always have an actual color wheel in front of you. I'll show you which one I have. One second. Okay, so here's the color wheel that I have. You can get it off of Amazon. Just type in color wheel. Now you can see here colors that are like in front of each other, against each other, called complementary colors. You can see it says complementary. And then what's cool about this color wheel is that you can have all kinds of different combinations. You can um, like you can move the colors, right? They rotate around, and then it shows you which colors will work with which. So for example, you have triad, split complementary, complementary tetrad, so on and so forth. There's many different combinations of colors you can use, and they have names. So this is the back, and this is the front of it. So when you see how the yellow is in front of this violet, and how this uh, purple, and this red is in front of this green, right? And this orange is in front of this blue violet. So this is like a superpower, basically. You start to understand your colors better. You know which colors are working with which, and you use this as a help guide, um, to know which colors to add. So you know that if you have these oranges here, right? You see, like over here, um, okay, so the oranges, right? You see these yellow, yellow, orange, orange, then orange, red, and red. All of these colors are gonna work together pretty well, right? Um, yeah, it's the same thing with any color here. Like all of these are gonna work well together. Um, and then these, right? Like actually, these are gonna work. Like think about nature, right? You have green for nature, for trees, foliage, and all that, and then you have the blue sky. You can't go wrong with that. It just works, so, and then what you do is you basically rotate the colors, and then wherever these triangles are pointing, that's your color scheme. And you can pick color schemes for your painting according to the colors here on the color wheel. That's why having something like this is much better than looking at the color wheel here. This is not accurate. Now you can see why. It's just built to be more convenient to pick colors. But I wish it was accurate, like here. Um, then you would know exactly which colors you can use. But like Photoshop has add-ons like that that you can download, and it has a color wheel that you can pick, and I believe they're more accurate in their placement, like where the colors are. But yeah, like so I used what I did here. I used some reds, some oranges, right, and then I used some blue, which turned kind of green. So what happens is if you try to figure out what it is on the color wheel. So it would be something like this. It would be yellow, orange, and then boom, like this. See that? See the triangle? That would be a split complementary, right? So complementary would be just blue and orange. That would be complementary. But this would be a split complementary. Why split? Because it's not just yellow orange, it's also yellow and orange, right? You can do this with any color. You can do like these two, just like the way it is over here, or let's say these two, right? We just did that. So let's do these two with this, with the red. So this green and this blue will work with the red. Just how it is. Or that's also split complementary. Or this yellow and this green, and we're gonna go and it's gonna hit. Oops, it's gonna hit this, right? Yeah, right. So basically, wherever the points are touching, those are your color schemes. In this case, here you have 4. That's 4, right? And then tetrad, you have this one, and this one. It's a little bit trippy, but you get used to it, right? And then triad will be this one, this one. It's more balanced, you see. As split complementary, it's more like it's over here and here, but the triad is going to be here, here, and here. Anyway, I really recommend getting this little tool. Super helpful. I used it tons in my professional work, and it helped me and saved me a lot of time figuring out the colors. Yeah, there's no need for guesswork, basically. Yeah, I'll leave it here for you. So yeah, that's how you also can know which colors are gonna work in your, you know, splash screen for the game. Um, so I'm still trying to understand. And this is like there's some kind of a ghost or a demon trying to catch him. I'm not sure what's going on here, but there's definitely something dark going on here because it has to do with rituals and blood and all that stuff. Yeah, but the title, it definitely needs to stand out. And now that you know you have this tool to your disposal, you can definitely approach this and look at it differently. Think if you have like your colors, the background has really strong colors like the red and the violet, and it should be the other way around. It shouldn't be, at least it shouldn't be that saturated. Like it needs to be, definitely needs to be less saturated. You can't have the background being so strong. The background needs to support whatever is up front, which is the title, whatever artwork, character, game artwork you have, splash stuff. So the background is supposed to support all that, not take away from it. Right now, it's taking away from it because red and blue are really strong colors. So definitely desaturate that so it's not taking all the attention away from what's supposed to be. And you see how desaturated everything looks except the character. Um, so now Popcorn definitely uh, could use a better font too, something more exciting. You know, let me show you some. You can go around and get some free fonts. It's super easy, and look at the collection that I have. I have tons of cool stuff here, and I've used this over the years, to create stuff. Um, you can definitely find nicer fonts and more. What you can do is you go to the website like Dafont or font.com or whatever, and you type in the name of your game, and then type search, and it'll come up. All the fonts will come up with your game name, with your title, whatever the word is, and then you can see if that's what you like. But yeah, I'll definitely change the. Yeah, maybe some gradient, something more interesting. So it doesn't look so boring. Like that. And overall, it's really hard to understand what's going on here. I mean, it's good that you're trying, and you know, it's awesome to see that you're making progress. You got to think about is it like communicating the message you're trying to, like, is it telling the story of what your game is? It's really hard to understand what what it is. There's some guy, some kid running with a backpack. These uh, things are, I guess, popcorn, but they look like teeth, right? if it wasn't popcorn here, or I wouldn't know it's popcorn. I would think it's teeth. Maybe he's losing his teeth, or I don't know. So you got to think about stuff like that. You got to make sure, go back to your drawing board, right, and sketch out an idea. Maybe ask your friends, like, hey, does this make sense? Do you understand what this is? Like, what do you think this is, right? Somebody who doesn't know, right? Come up with a few sketches, because the story has to be in here, what your game is about, right? It needs to give a short introduction to the players of what they're going to be, getting into, what they're going to be experiencing, what the game is about. So all of that stuff. So it's really hard to understand. I know there's some threat, like, the hand, that's pretty good. Dark hand, trying to catch him, but other than that, I have no idea what the game is about. So yeah, think about that kind of stuff, and rework the idea, and think about the colors and the composition and all that. Make everything a little bigger, because you have a lot of empty space here, like all of this space, you know, needs to be used. Character could be bigger, make it catch more space in the screen. But overall, nice work. Yeah, thank you. All right, Abraham, nice stuff here. Let's start with your mood board. Mood board looking good. You definitely captured the feel of the gun here. Yeah, there's some correction here, but you're definitely in the right direction. You've been really able to texture it nice, and we'll talk about what you have here. It's nice. Yeah, and I took a look at your analysis. That's good. It's really important to understand, like, the differences and nuances and the different genres and the styles and all that stuff. So that way you know what you're doing, and you definitely are nailing it down. You're kicking some butt. I can tell you understand what you're doing. You're going in the right direction. You continue like this, you're gonna be hireable in no time. Seriously, just keep going. Just keep going. Grind as much as possible. You just need some more practice, some more painting, more sketching, more work, right? More practice. But you definitely, like, this is nice. This feels like almost like Warcraft to me. Anyway, let's get to it, right? Um, so the modeling looks good. It's nice, clean. The low poly topology looks good to me. No issues here. Thanks for sharing that. You definitely know how to create clean, low mesh topology. That's awesome. The texturing, right? The texturing, it's pretty good. I like how you put your tag there, the nickname. That's a nice little touch. Looks good. All right, you could push it a little further. There are some examples of some really good 3D work. Let me go look it up real quick. I'll be right back. All right, cool. Let's take a look at some of the collections here. All right, so which in particular I wanted to show you. I mean, this guy is crazy good, right? I really like all of these examples, man. So this is kind of along the way, along the lines of what you're trying to do. It's subtle, nice colors and everything. Let me go back here. This guy's really good. He's a concept artist, but his 3D work is insane. Like, this is a he uses Substance Painter and Blender and ZBrush. Yeah, Teo, if you haven't seen this artist, check him out. He's really good. Like this guy. But you see how vibrant his work is? Um, yeah, he's a really unique talent. So it might not be completely fair. But look at this kind of stuff as as inspiration, right? Um, like his stuff is very vibrant. You see how the reason his work is so strong is because he knows how to draw and paint, and that's what I've been stressing to you guys for since the beginning is that for you 3D artists, knowing to paint and draw is gonna accelerate your work and bring it to whole new levels completely. Um, let's go back. All right, so if you can do both, you're gonna be really, really good. Yeah, this guy is a really, really good. He has a really good drawing skills. Why are you going here? I want to go back to my collections. Collections. Uh, let's go. Let's look some of these. That's pretty cool. There was something in my collections, some works that I collected that would be really useful for you. Yeah, this is nice too. It's not too crazy. Um, let's keep going here. Hold on. Yeah, this one's cool. That's definitely a Warcraft style. So let me bring down. Yeah, okay. So you're definitely getting there, and let's bring that back up. So doing studies of metal will really help you a lot. Studying how metal reacts and uh, just working on creating the illusion of 3D forms inside of the 2D, right? So there's a lot of the painting stuff that's going on here is not actually a model. So a lot of it is just good painting, the illusion of form. Let's try to find some examples like that. Like inside of this hair, right? You see, this is what games like World of Warcraft do really well. Um, they make you feel like everything is modeled out and it's like high resolution, high poly, but it's not at all. And you pretty much did that here, um, right? It looks pretty good, um, but yeah, it can be pushed more, right? So let's take a look here. Right, like all of this, right? This is just a cylinder, two rings and a cylinder, and everything else is painted, right? This is not 3D. All of it is painted. The hair is painted. Um, these are modeled, but then whatever's inside is painted. Same thing here. See, this is not a model. All this is painted. So you want to practice, um, definitely practice materials and creating the illusion of a model with your paintbrush, right? Because that saves resources, and games love that. When you can save on the resources and the game is not going to be heavy, and you can make things look awesome like this, right? Like look, all this, this is pretty low poly, and if you just strip down the texture, it'll look okay. You can still see it's a wolf, but the texture really makes it like 10 times better and more detailed and everything and more understandable and recognizable. Yeah, it's symmetrical too. You can see that there's symmetry here. I would not do so much symmetry. I would at least vary a little bit. If I would do symmetry after I'm done with the symmetry, I would start to go without symmetry. I would like see here and here. It's all the same. It's all 100% the same. So I make sure that it doesn't look all 100% the same and just create a variation. But I mean, overall, this is really awesome. Right? You can take a look at examples like that and really learn from it. It's really cool. Yeah, I just wanted to show you some of these guys. So this guy is Bernardo Cristoval. You can find him and take a look at his work. Um, shall we look at one more and then go to yours? These are really cool. But yeah, this is awesome. But we need weapons because we're working on talking about your blunderbuss. Yeah, this is awesome. Look at this stuff. It's crazy. You see how it has like these let me see. Do we have a 3D? No. Okay, so like you see how he pushes the material? Let me bring it into the canvas. So what I mean is pushes the materials. You see how like metal definitely reads like metal because of these little highlights? Right? You do have that. I'm not saying you don't, but you can push it a little more. It could feel a bit like more, like not overdo it, but just a tad, you know. Yeah, 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 yeah. Which one? Yeah, yeah. Maybe like this. See? Just go easy with it, right? It's just, it just needs a little bit more, just a tad a bit more, right? And then it's like, yeah, awesome. And try to be like kind of random in the placements, a little bit here, a little bit there, so things feel more natural. Uh, but not random in the sense that like mm, you see this makes no sense, right? So what this and this is supposed to be is a reflection of light, but you can't really have a situation when the light suddenly changes. It still has to be over here. You see, like over here, this, it continues here. That's correct. But this, it's like out of place. It's like it went down and it feels weird, feels off. So I would remove that and just focus. Like that. Man, look at that. It's not much, but look how awesome your blunderbuss already looks like. It looks great. It just shows how close you are. You're really close. Just keep at it, keep kicking butt, keep practicing, and you'll be doing stuff like this in no time. Look at this crazy stuff. And this is not just about knowing a good rendering. Like the design here is crazy. This is why sketching is so important. Just open up your sketchbook and start sketching crazy ideas. Try to come up with different combinations. And if you don't have ideas, just go to ChatGPT. Ask it to give you crazy combinations of weapons and the style of fantasy or sci-fi or whatever. Come up with whatever. Tell it like, hey, give me a weapon for a dwarf in a Warhammer universe, and the hammer has to have some dragon bones and crazy metal alloys and I don't know, maybe some rock, and it'll give you ideas, and then you can really start sketching out these things. All right, so this is like bone, this is some roots, that's metal. Then we got some rubies here, right? Just try to think about different combinations. Like stuff like this will get you hired. Like if this stuff was in your portfolio, I would hire you. Like in a heartbeat. Seriously. Like there's no. it's just you'll get hired. You'll make money. You'll be working from your home, and you'll be happy doing it. So. Okay, well, right now what I'm doing is I'm kind of tackling the rendering part. You see this, I would remove that and I would still go with this line, right? So we got this line of light. You want to keep going with that, right? Because that's physics. Physics don't change. Like over here, it makes no sense for it to be. So it would be here like this, like that, right? But that's where studies come. And overall, you did it correctly. Like I can see this, and this is correct, right? So there's no reason to like reinvent the wheel or anything like that. It works. Like, you already did 90% of the work correctly. Don't go astray at the end. So just keep going. Just the way you had it, it's good. Just keep going. Um, don't overdo too much with these cracks. You see, and make sure your cracks are not all the same size too. Like you see how it's the same size here, 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 here. That's unvaried repetition. It looks bad. You don't want to do that. You want to not. First of all, you don't want too many cracks, right? It has to look good. But if you do want more cracks, then at least vary their length, size, shape, all of that, right? It has to be it has to look interesting and different. It has to look natural, right? Right? See that? That's better. Same. I've seen a lot of that repetition here all over the place, like here and there. You don't want too much of the same stuff. And also, like this could be definitely much wider because you have this, kind of a Warcrafty style going on here. Right, so you want to make this wider. This can go like this, and this can go like this, and then yeah, you get this wider. That's behind the glass. I do like that it's kind of like a sphere popping out. That's kind of cool. You can definitely exaggerate everything. This is pretty cool. Yeah, like you wanna have these kind of scratches and what in good taste, and they have to kind of feel natural and to make sense. And if it's part of the wood grain, you wanna continue it like a little bit, right? Not just kind of stop. Look, study these kind of works, right? I don't know if he has wood here. Let me go. Let me see here real quick. Let's take a look at this one. So you see how the wood here is? See how the grain keeps going with the wood, right? So do the same thing. That's a 2D concept, by the way, and that's excellent. You can tell that this person knows 2D and 3D, so it's the same thing for him. That's why his work is so good. But yeah, you see, same thing. The wood grain goes vertically like that. So that's what you want to, if that's what you're going for. But yeah, either way, uh, I'll fix it for you. I'll show you what I mean. So like that. This could kind of go in there. Tuck it in. That can go here. Like this. Zooming. Awesome. Yeah, and then of course some highlights, right? Definitely want some highlights for that wood. Yeah, this is one of my favorite styles. It's a lot of fun to work on stuff like this. The Warcraft kind of style, the stylized stuff. It's cool. You can have this nice little highlight here. Boom! Look at that. It looks so much better now. Right? And you can have some light over here too. Then you can do maybe a cooler light down here. Let me see how they. You see this, like this highlight? That's cool. You can do something like that with cyan or blue. We'll take that. Let's try. Yeah, it could. So you could do it in Blender, I guess, or you could like add it later, like I'm doing right now. But either way, it just all the worms they contrast and complement quite nicely a blue color like that. Awesome, man. All right, well, I like what you got going on here. The lettering could be a little more interesting. Like you could use maybe a more interesting font, but it feels like it could be like that. You know, just break out of it. Just, you know, something like this, right? Maybe like that. Just make it a little more interesting. And this looks too smooth, right? Like I guess you didn't finish it, like, or something. But like, yeah, I would do some bricks here. Just like you have here, the little bricks. Not a lot, just a few. Give it a little texture. And I would put a roof over here, like you have here. Same thing. Um, tiles. That look nice, like that. On this side as well. Yeah, just a bit more texture. Like it feels like it's not completely finished, you know. Maybe a break over there, a break over here. See, and it really helps everything come together. When you add those little details, it really adds the realism. And when I say realism, it's not that it's gonna look realistic. It just means it feels more convincing, you know, because you're using stuff from real world. Like you're using materials, you're using tiles, you're using buildings, trees. So you know, finish convincing me that this is believable, right? But I love the colors, by the way. Great job on the colors and this kind of stuff. It's nice. All of this. Yeah, maybe too much. Yeah, awesome. Really good work, Abraham. Keep pushing it. I love seeing this kind of stuff. Absolutely love it. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's take a look at what we have here. Ooh, Timmy. Okay, got some analysis done. That's good. So weapon design. So the weapons, they look a little flat, right? So just like I was telling Muriwa, you know, you want to make sure that your stuff have volume to it. So this is not too bad. The bottle is not too bad actually. So um, you know, and I would encourage you, like, instead of just focusing on so much on rendering, um, just have a lot of, you know, just have more loose sketches too. You know, maybe show how this is going to be used as a weapon. You know, when you draw a hand with that bottle, right? Like that. Yeah, this is, you know, something like this, right? And then this hand is holding this bottle, and then, right? It's, um, you know, the pistol. Uh, could detail it a little more, but just conceptualize things more, push them, you know, just have fun with it. Don't be afraid to draw. Show your ideas. Like show how the magazine goes inside the pistol, right? Um, show a pistol with the hand holding it, right? Same thing with this. It looks very dull. It doesn't look very sharp. So we need to indicate some sharpness on this machete. It needs to look more dangerous. You can push the uniqueness of it too. Like it doesn't have to be just the regular shape. You can go crazy with it. This is a Mad Max type of machete. That's crazy. It's kind of like this. And maybe like this. Right? And maybe like this. See, now that looks much more dangerous and more interesting. Like, oh, that's crazy. It's no longer exactly a machete, but it definitely looks more threatening. And yeah, take your time, just do some detailing on this thing. You know, like, this looks like a desert eagle, actually, not 1911. So you would, you know, you would have something here on the handle, like something like this. Should be some screws. Some details on, I don't know, like this. Yeah, just detail it a little bit. Don't rush. Just have fun with it. Something like that. Yeah, and just come up with interesting ideas, because these are just things that already exist, right? You always wanna push your concept further. Like you wanna create something new. That's the whole point of being a concept artist, not just doing things that have already been seen and exist. You want to make sure that your stuff is interesting, right? That's the whole point. That's why concept artists get paid so well. It's because we do the hard work of coming up with difficult ideas and concepts and being original, um, which is something AI is struggling with, by the way. AI is not extremely original. It's only going to be as original as you tell it to be. It's not going to do anything more than what you're going to tell it. Right? Some kind of a ring. Yeah. Well, that'll do it, guys. Yeah, thanks for your submissions. Good work, everyone. Hope to see more submissions next week. We've got 2 more weeks to go. Let's do this. Bye bye.